Hi, everyone. Welcome to your practice today. This is going to be gentle yin yoga for the upper body. So, nice if you're doing a lot of typing, a lot of driving, sitting at a desk, or you just kind of have that stiff, icky shoulders and upper back feeling a lot of the time. You will need a couple of blocks, or alternatively, a bolster or some rolled up towels or cushions for supported fish. You'll also want something to use for archer arms. You could potentially just find a clasp behind your back, or maybe just hold on to the fabric of your top. I'm going to use a resistance band. So it's got just like a little bit of stretch to it, and it's easy to kind of hook behind the back and find a nice pull on. Any kind of strap would be grand. So, like the belt off a dressing gown, a yoga strap, pair of tights, TheraBand, anything like that. We'll start with a very gentle wrist stretch. So just finding a position where you can get a little bit of stretch down the forearm. So you might just want to kind of pad with your hands and find where feels like your edge, that point that you really don't want to stay there, but beyond that, it's getting painful. And then dial it back a little bit. So you may be a little bit more out, fingers may be a little bit more out, or you may be much more turning fingers towards the knees. And then, however much weight you put on your wrists, you can alternate that by lifting your hips back or moving them forward. So find something where you've got this nice stretch up the forearms. You can experiment with how wide apart they are, and then how much weight or not you want to put in them. And then once you've found the right level, let's just settle in for about 10 breaths, nice and slow. So with yin, remember we're always slightly reducing the intensity of the sensation and the effort of the pose because we hold them for longer than a traditional hatha style class. We're relying less on muscular engagement or intentional movement on our part, and more on the gentle stretch that happens as we spend time with ligaments and tendons under tension or just under the pressure of gravity. So it applies that gentle stretch, a little bit like when you let bread rise and the dough starts to get that really elastic, stretchy quality. Let's take about 3 more nice slow breaths. And then gently shift your weight back towards your heel so that you can peel your hands off. And let's just take some circles around with each wrist and through the elbow, bringing some movement back in. On the other side, quite like doing one side and then the other so you can really focus on the individual sensations and notice how each forearm feels by contrast. And then our next pose is going to be a child's pose with a twist. So coming back towards the back of your mat, knees as wide apart as you would like, and your hips settling towards your heels, and then walk your hands forward as if you were going to do that extended child's pose, But then just tent your right fingers and slide the left arm underneath. Now, you could even use a block here to bring it a floor up to meet you, as it were. You can either make this like a kind of spread the needle and bring your temple down and then stretch this arm forward and kind of press, bring the elbow up towards the ceiling, a little bit more active. Or you can make it more like a kind of bow tie, half bow tie or broken wing with this arm coming across and your forehead down onto the mat. So this version gets more into the shoulder, whereas this version reaches into the thoracic spine. So work out what you need, what feels right for you. And then just let your hips start to settle back towards your heels. And again, see if you can come back into your breath here, finding long, slow breaths. You have an opportunity to breathe across the back ribs here. You can also relax this right arm once you've found that twist. So think about expanding your back ribs up and to the side as you breathe in. And then letting them gently soften in on your exhale. I find as you spend time here, you can actually inch that arm a little bit more through as the body relaxes more in the pose. One more big breath. And then just press into the right arm to lift up enough. Just slide that left arm out. Take any little intuitive movements here with that left shoulder just to free it up. And then we're just going to go straight to the other side. So just find same thing, your twist or your broken wing variation on the other side. Recognizing one shoulder might be stiffer or less mobile than the other. Take your time to settle in on this side. Then coming slowly back to deep, expansive breaths. Allow your body to settle a little bit more into the pose. Is there anywhere that's working that doesn't need to be? Take one more nice big breath here. Press the left arm out. Gently draw the right arm through. Take a moment just to recalibrate however feels instinctive for you. And then we're going to come just to a cross-legged seat. You might want to sit on a block or on your bolster, just to bring a little bit of ease to the low body. So we're not really going to be using it at all. And let's just drop the right ear to the right shoulder and then roll chin down towards the chest. And then take left ear to left shoulder. At the top, maybe you jut the chin up a little bit. Roll it back through. Take a few of these, loosening up your neck after that twist. Loosen your jaw. And let's pause with the right ear towards the right shoulder. Bringing the right hand gently towards maybe the temple, the ear, or even towards the back of the skull, wherever feels comfortable. And think about drawing the hand up, lengthening the neck rather than dragging it down. So you're just trying to get a longer neck muscle, scalene here, dropping that left shoulder. You could just rest the arm at the side. You could walk the fingertips out. Find a gentle angle, and we're just going to stay here for 1 minute. Just relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, and take nice big breaths across the whole of the diaphragm. Let the head get heavier. Gently take the hand away and just cradle the right side of your head and support your head to come back up, and just take a little yes and no, looking to the left, looking to the right, seeing how that feels, and just drop the left ear towards left shoulder. Left hand can come up somewhere across the head and just gently lengthening the neck away from the shoulder. Drop the arm, maybe and the fingertips, a little bit more of a stretch. Again, just a minute here, slow breaths into the rib cage. Relax the jaw. One more breath. Gently cradle the left side of the head, bring it back up. Little yes and no. Looking to each shoulder and just a few shoulder rolls in each direction. Let's find your strap or whatever you're using for archer arms. We'll start with the right arm coming up, bringing the flat of the hand somewhere between your shoulder blades. The left arm comes behind you, reaching up as if you're going to touch fingertips, or even you could inch up and take hold of the fingers. Alternatively, your right hand could hold your strap and your left hand holds it from below. Thinking about drawing that right elbow up towards the ceiling, and you can bring it alongside your ear. Make sure your head's not doing this. So if it's more out here, but your head is straight, that's fine. But our aim is to stretch along this front part of the underside of the arm, down the underarm a little bit. Thinking about a nice straight spine. And then that gentle pull on your strap or on your fingers from the left arm, pulling that right arm a little bit deeper. And then again, and you come back to those nice, big, expansive rib cage breaths. Relax the tummy, the pelvic floor, the legs, the only muscles that are working. Left arm a little bit, mostly the stretch in the right. Anytime you get pins and needles or tingles, just bring the arm down. Gently release the strap with the left hand, with the right. Bring the shoulder down. And just take a few rolls in one direction, trying to keep the right elbow relatively still, rolling in. And then you could bring the arm across the body and just gently draw it away from the shoulder, maybe looking across that right shoulder. And have a little wiggle and see how that feels. Check in and notice the difference between the right arm and the left before we carry on. And then your left arm's going to come up and just land somewhere between your shoulder blades. Left arm can come behind. Maybe you can clasp hands, touch fingertips, or maybe with your left hand you hold the strap, your right hand grabs it from below, gently drawing that left elbow up towards the ceiling, getting that stretch in the underside of the left arm. Finding a nice strong position for the spine. And again, settling back into your breath. Bring your attention back to the sensation, to your breath. One more big breath. And gently release the left arm down, right arm out. Some big shoulder rotations on that left side. In both directions. And gently draw the left arm across. Maybe look over that left shoulder. And check in with how your jaw, your neck, the tops of your shoulders feel. Let's finish off with supported fish for the upper back. So a little counter pose to that twist that we did in child's pose. Now we're going to open and broaden the shoulders. So with your blocks, your bolster, it's simple, just lay it lengthwise, keep your low back free. With your blocks, think about one block, medium height, probably underneath your shoulder blades. Grab the other block, move it so it's underneath your head. Wiggle around until you find a reasonably comfortable position. And legs can just go long. Arms can come out to the side. Try and just draw the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. A nice big expansive breath through the whole of the front of the rib cage, front of the abdominals is all a little bit open here. And we're going to stay here for 2 to 3 minutes. Just come out earlier if you need to. If you're finding that's a wee bit tricky on your tailbone, just lift and tuck the pelvis under a little bit and then settle back down again. You've got a nice long lumbar spine. Just allow your body to get really heavy here. Let the props do the work. The legs are just resting on the ground, feet rolling out, hips are relaxed. It's a little expansion through the front of the throat. You might feel it as you breathe in. Notice if tension's creeping up anywhere, just give yourself a wiggle and then settle back in again. Let's take a last 5 deep breaths here. Obviously, you could stay longer if you want to. Really no need for you to come out of this pose quickly. It's for the sake of keeping this practice shorter today. I'll just guide you out of coming out of this pose. So when you're ready, you just slide the feet up. I like to bring my hands up to support the back of my head to help it lift off the top block. And then arms can come down to lift up to slide the blocks out. And come back down, just flat for a moment, just to feel that reset that happens when your muscles hit that still flat surface. And again, it's a nice moment to just check in with the upper back, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, even in the forearms, the places that we've stretched. Just feel there's quite subtle shifts that have happened. A little bit more ease, a little bit more roominess, maybe. And then when you're ready, just roll onto one side. Take a little peaceful pose for a moment. Get that little stretch through the low back and then press with your hands to come up. Finding a seat. Have a little wiggle. Take one last big breath in and out. Notice how the practice has shifted your mind and your emotions. What seems clearer? What seems more possible or more doable now? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this practice was helpful. I look forward to practicing again with you soon.